And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at the next expansion for Funkoverse, which is the Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Halloween, or what's this? I found Jack to be kind of a moron, and that's what's this. You would think someone in charge of a holiday would know about an opposing holiday. I digress. The movie has fanatical fans. I think the movie's fine. The music I really enjoy. Not as big of a fan as everybody else seems to be, but still, are we surprised at this point? Well, I'm not surprised. Funkoverse is going to have a ton of stuff. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already know how to play the game. If not, you have to go back and watch my original Funkoverse review. Here I'm just talking about the additional 4 characters and what's in this set. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to first look at the 4 characters in this game. So first we have here Dr. Finkelstein. I really like how the characters look in this one, who comes with Igor, or Igor, who knows how to pronounce his name. You're going to place him adjacent to Dr. Finkelstein, and whenever he becomes exhausted, Igor can move to and push an adjacent ally 1 square. That's okay, but what's more interesting here is you can place or move him adjacent to Dr. Finkelstein, and he gets a non-interact basic action, which is not bad. He can come and defend Dr. Finkelstein. It's alive. Now this one is a fascinating one. I really like this special ability. Choose a token or marker within 2 squares of Dr. Finkelstein. It does a range 2, challenge 3. That's hilarious. You can take anything. You can take any kind of marker on the board. I mean, I could take the B marker, for crying out loud, and just have it become alive and attack. I think that's a lot of fun. And then Brain Scratch, move 2, and then move 2 things then to cool track down 1. And if you know me, I'm a huge fan of moving things down the cooldown track. Then we have, of course, Jack himself. Jack Skellington. This is Halloween. Do a challenge 3 to each adjacent standing rival. That is powerful, but expensive. He also has move 1, give someone the Pumpkin King status card, which is this one here. And when this character does an ability, you may discard this card to decrease the cost of that ability by 2. Ooh, that makes This is Halloween really powerful. It makes him a really strong melee fighter. He can run up and hit people. And then move 2, choose a standing ally or rival, and pull them 1 square. That's okay. What's interesting about Jack, though, he has is making Christmas. On their turn, it says here, Jack, allied characters within 2 squares of Jack can use his ability as if they're his own. This makes him a really powerful offensive character, in my opinion. And it means he can give the Pumpkin King to somebody else. You also might notice I've given him here the frog juice. Fog juice, not frog juice. At the beginning of the game, get a gray ability token to your ability token pool. This is not a sexy thing. It's not like a chainsaw or something like that. However, it's nice. I like this. I imagine we'll see all the other tokens show up at some point in the different items. But this one is a tempting one for me to draft because I like having the extra tokens. All right, then of course Sally. How cute is Sally? Sally has a detachable arm. That's less cute, but very, very handy. It's adjacent to her, and if she's challenged and she's within 4 squares, she can swap spaces with it. And so then they have to attack her arm instead. So it makes her a really strong defensive, and only for 1, you can place it or move it adjacent to her or remove it from the board and put her in its square. That's very handy. That arm crawls around and she can jump around. Gives her very strong maneuverability. And what have we here? She and the token each do a different non-interact basic action. Not bad. So she can send her arm to go get stuff. Nightshade Soup. Challenge 3, but you get an extra die if it's exhausted, which could be a challenge 4. Pretty powerful, but it's her arm that's going to make her interesting. And my favorite character from this set, Oogie Boogie, who's also possibly my favorite character from the movie. He comes with his own set of dice. Now, these are 6-sided dice, but they're set up in such a way so they have these funky-looking skulls on them. And he's going to roll them for all 3 of his special abilities. If he ever rolls them and the faces match, or even the normal ones and all the faces match in the normal dice, he gets to move an ability token on his cooldown track by 1. That's awesome. Right there. But also, his dice give him special abilities. So, roll both boogie dice. 7 or more, shift something down to cooldown track 2. It costs 4 to do it, but it's also a challenge 4. It's awesome. Gambling, roll 2. If you roll 7 or more, he does a basic action. So he can move 2 and then roll this and hope to get to do a basic action. And then choose an ally he can see within 3 squares and put them adjacent to him. Then roll both of these. If you roll 7 or more, they do a basic action. Now, of course, 7 or more is slightly more than 50%. So that's pretty good odds that his stuff's going to work, but it might not. So if you're not kind of a gambling person, you're probably going to dislike him. I, on the other hand, love gambling, so really enjoy Oogie Boogie. Component-wise, I really like this side of the board a lot. Unfortunately, I very rarely play on these small boards. This side's also pretty cool. It has that whole Halloween Christmas vibe to it, so I'm a big fan of how this looks. And this one, I think they're going to probably do this with all the Funkoverse sets now. You'll notice that there are 4 different bases for them because you can now play 4-way matches. The crystals for this are purple, of course, for Halloween. It comes with extra tokens like a mummy, a wolfman, a black cat, and a vampire to be on the 4 different teams. It also includes, besides the item that Jack has, you can now have a companion. Companions are a new thing that they've just recently added, where you can send him to fetch, to do an assist or interaction, to move 2 squares, and he can move through rivals if they were allies. I still wish he was a little ghost figure rather than the token, but this is a nice little addition to the game, especially if you think a ghost dog is cute. All the rest of the components are nice. Everything works well, as with all the Funkoverse stuff. Well, there you have it. Adding these people in, you get to have Oogie Boogie and the Joker on the same team, or Jack Skellington working with Marty. Who knows? It's silly fun. Incidentally, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a listing of all the different characters of Funkoverse so far and my ratings of them, which ones I like the best. Suffice it to say, there's some pretty high ones in here. Oogie Boogie is my favorite of this group. But Sally, even though she's not one of my favorite characters in the movie, I really like that detached barn, but I also like everything that's in this box. This is a fun set, and it's also a fun theme. The figures themselves are fun to move around. They bring a brightness and a colorfulness to the game. And once again, the team at Prospero Hall with Funko Games manages to take this simple rule set and expand and do different things with it that feel thematic to the characters and yet do something different in the game to make them cool. So there you go. If you like this game, you're probably getting this anyway. If you like Nightmare Before Christmas, you probably got it even if you don't know anything about the game. But either way, it's fun still. Enjoying this game. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment approved!